Right?
Okay, so we will go ahead and call the July Bytown Economic Development Committee meeting to order. Let's start with public comments.
Eric, I have no public comment, but I did want to just make an introduction before we kick off the agenda.
Sure, go ahead.
Great. Really excited to have Danny Delaney here with us. She is the new head of business acceleration and assistant director at BDCC. So obviously focusing primarily on the business acceleration in the months ahead, but a broader sort of enterprise-wide view of the work that we do. So we'll be showing up in many different capacities, but really excited to have her here today and working with everybody in the Bytown communities. Welcome, Danny.
Hi, Danny.
Hi, y'all. Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here and I'm excited to be back home. I grew up in Woodford and this was a great opportunity and just excited to be back in Vermont.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thanks, Eric.
Yeah. All right, any other public comment? Okay, seeing none. I need a motion to approve the minutes from the May 2nd meeting.
Make a motion to accept.
Any second?
Second.
All right, I have Heidi with the motion and Bill with the second. Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. So we'll hop into the housing committee update. So we haven't had a meeting in a little bit, just working through some pieces that we had been discussing at meetings, and just haven't put a meeting together until this afternoon. We do have a housing meeting from 1 to 2 via Zoom. The new website is up and running. We are currently working through what we're going to have on there for content to make it the most useful that it can possibly be. We'll be very centered on resources for landlords and how to run a long-term rental and some resources and things that are out there for those landlords, both educationally and financially. So we're just working through that piece now. Gretchen put together a letter that we got out to Mount Snow, and we'll go out to some other businesses as well, seeking some funding to kind of help us with some of our initiatives, marketing that website, and also to help start funding. We're looking at creating a landlord support group that has, meetings where we would offer, food and other types of support, again, with the education piece and kind of working together on best practices and things like that for running those long-term rentals. So all of that is coming together. And then coming up at the next select board meetings, Gretchen and I will be discussing with the boards an accessory dwelling unit incentive program, incentivizing people who don't currently have an accessory dwelling unit to create one on their property and have that available to employees of the Deerfield Valley at a reasonable rate for a set amount of time. So that discussion will be happening at the select board meetings on Tuesday. Any questions, or Gretchen, did I miss anything housing wise?
No, I think that's good.
Okay.
You got it.
Any questions on us for the housing committee? If you want to check out the new website, head over to deerfieldvalleyhousing.com, and you can kind of see everything we've got going on there, as well as recordings of our previous meetings as they happen. All right. Moving right along, marketing. Gretchen.
So we are just gearing up to our full-on press for our summer digital ad campaign, and so far, we've been getting some really good numbers, and we look forward to sharing those numbers probably in August with the select boards. So we had a successful photo shoot. The photo shoot was supposed to be 2 days, but they were calling for rain the second day, so they did like a marathon 6:30 to 9:30 at night. A photo shoot, and Tim seems to think that we really got a lot of good photos, so, and some as well as video. We did get on those. So we did apply for the T-term grant, which was an innovative way to market your area. And we applied for a passport style thing. Eric could probably explain it a little bit more. But unfortunately, we did not get that grant. And it could be because we had gotten so many other grants from the state of Vermont. But they did have 6 million, was it? And they had less than 1 million, I think, to give out. So it was pretty competitive. So I'm not surprised that we didn't get it, but we're just going to keep, applying for everything that the state brings out. And, sometimes you win them and sometimes you lose them. And then let's see, the other thing that we're working on is a webcam, in the Deerfield Valley, and we have discussed a couple of sites to put that. And I think that we decided our number one choice would be out at Mark Pedersen's site. So we're going to see if we can get there for that. And let's see, we're thinking about new pole banners for next year. So there was a lot of discussion around the font, which will definitely change in 2025. But if you guys have ideas around that, I think that we would love to hear them sooner than later. So if you have an idea of what you would like to see on those banners. Eric, do you want to go back a little bit to that passport and explain that you're considering doing it for Dover? So
Yeah, so we had been in contact with a company called Banwango, who offers a passport that allows our visitors to check into our businesses without really any needed participation from the business owner, other than to say, yes, I'd like to participate. Basically, once the visitor is here, we would have a passport of restaurants, places to stay, retail shops, recreation areas, where once that visitor went to that establishment or area, they would be checked in via geofencing. You can set the parameters on how far away from that business they need to be to check into it. So, obviously for restaurants and things, it would be in the restaurant and whatnot. But basically what it allows the visitor to do is it gives them a very good idea of what's available to them in terms of dining and retail and recreation, but it also allows them to earn points for each one of those places that they visit and check into and patron. And then from there would be a tiered kind of award system to offer them, swag basically for visiting those businesses or recreation areas. So it's, you start with something as simple as a sticker, coffee mugs, sweatshirts. They have, it's a catalog of about 300 different items that we would get to choose from, basically, that they would be allowed to choose from for accumulating those points. And then you talk about things like gift cards that they can earn and all of those things. The way it's set up we can create as many different passes as we want to. So if we wanted to have a summer pass that kind of focused on those businesses that are open mainly in the summer, we can have a winter pass. We could do a fall foliage pass. We can do, you know, a holiday pass to incentivize, you know, shopping here in the Deerfield Valley or in Dover. So it's something, the price on that system actually just came down, and it's something that, since we won't be moving forward with Bytown marketing, it's something we'll be looking at, and I'll be presenting to my select board probably the first meeting in August to get that hopefully approved and initiated. But I think, you know, based on the information they've shared with us, there's a ton of case studies about, you know, destination areas that have gone this route and the success that they've seen by doing, you know, some of those restaurant passes and things like that. So I think it's something we want to try. The other piece of it is that we get that data collection, right? So when people sign up, we get their emails that can be added to the email list for the blasts that go out from the chamber and anything else we're sending out. And it also gives us that geolocation of people coming into, and we know that they're here in the Valley and what they're doing. So it's something that we're super interested in. And we'll, like I said, we'll be putting it in front of our board the first meeting in August. Any questions on marketing or anything we just discussed?
Eric, can I just ask a quick question? Any way, this is a weird question, but any way people traveling like on the Moover could also be part of that passport system? We're trying to think of ways to increase ridership in the Valley, since we've seen, here, I'll put my camera on because I'm, at least you can just don't get scared. We're trying to think of ways to increase ridership in the Valley, since we've seen more of a change of less long-term renters on Route 100 and more seasonal rentals, you know, and short terms. So we're kind of seeing that change in our ridership, and we were thinking of ways to increase ridership. So I don't know if that's something we can be a part of, that if they ride the bus, they get, you know, the accrue points and that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, I think, you know, the Moover could absolutely be included as part of the passport. I think the geolocation piece there is a little more tricky, right? Because the bus moves. It's not like a location. So it would be a little harder to do the geolocation piece, but absolutely that could be included in the list as an option for, you know, kind of transport around the Valley and added as points and things like that. Okay. You know, so yeah, any business, you know, when we do it in Dover to start, I mean, any business that wants to be a part of it absolutely would be open to be a part of it. The other thing that it opens up is, you know, partnership with those local businesses for the ones who do actually want to actively participate, to say, you know, we'd like to offer a coupon for visiting our location, or, you know, expanded points or something along those lines to get people into those businesses and the expanded advertising opportunities there. So I think there's a lot of potential for this. And like I said, the fact that there's so much data that we can get based on kind of the way we're configuring the passes and how all of that works, it's a piece of, it gives us pieces of data that we don't currently have, and I think would be super helpful. So yeah, we'll, like I said, once we talk to the Dover board and kind of decide which way we want to go, you know, we'll definitely have more information out about that at that point.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Any other questions on marketing or anything? All right, perfect. Moving right along, we are going to give some updates on the May 1% payment that we received as that came in after our last meeting. Gretchen, did you want to start, or?
Actually, I got mine yesterday, late afternoon, and I have not had a chance to review it.
Okay.
So I apologize.
No worries. I will go ahead and share ours.
I will email a report to everyone.
Absolutely. So this has been everybody see the spreadsheet. This has been presented to our select board. So our May payment was $380,706.58, which is down about 0.75 over last year. However, we are still extremely happy as that May payment from 23 was actually the largest one that we had ever received. So, really happy with the way that the, kind of the end of the ski season with the weather and whatnot. We're still extremely happy that, we're seeing numbers like this through the end of that season, through stick, and into the very beginning of the warmer weather. So, yeah, down 0.75, but still very up compared to most prior years. Okay, any questions for me on the Dover 1%? Stop the share. All right, awesome. Was there any other, we don't have any other business. Was there any other business anyone was looking to discuss or things for future agendas? Easy group this morning. All right, we'll hop into updates. Gretchen, you're up first.
Okay, let's see. Wilmington Works in the town of Wilmington went to the select board and received $125,000 to implement the facade improvement program for all of Wilmington, businesses that are on a main road, and they could get up to $15,000 for those facade improvements. So Sam, did you have anything that you would like to add to that? Oh, deadline is August 1st. It's a quick turnaround, but we're trying to get some, some things happening for this year. So Sam, did you have anything else?
No, I have nothing to add. The thing that's going to be a little bit different is that because we started this midsummer, everyone will have till next July 15th awarded to actually complete the projects. The previous years we've done it, they had 180 days. So that's just a change, but we are excited.
So other updates, we have been talking with the state and their engineer on the bridge replacement that will be happening in 2029. That's the Dots Bridge, which will be impacting everyone here. So more to come on that. We don't still have a lot of details about potential reroutes and things like that. So, the Hoot Toot and Whistle Trail, improvements, we're making that, more accessible for strollers and, recreational, handicap chairs. The RFP is out and it's due, next week. So we are, we had a site visit the other day. We all got drenched. But that will be exciting to see that trail really become more developed. We have hired a consultant. I think I brought to you that we were doing a Windham County cultural plan, and the town of Wilmington is one of the towns that is spearheading this plan with Rockingham and Brattleboro. And we've hired a consultant, and again, I'm going to bring things back to this committee and make sure that there's a lot of community involvement for all of Windham County for arts and culture here. So more to come on that. And we got good news from the USDA for the Route 9 infrastructure expansion project. They have agreed that we can apply, and this is going to, if we do get awarded, it's going to be a much less compared to a bond rate it will be a less interest rate for us. And there could potentially be some forgiveness in that. So we're pretty excited about that. The things are moving forward there this summer. I mean, over the winter we've already started the permitting process. And we will be seeking easements on the, for the water and the sewer to go out Route 9 east. And reappraisals, I'm sure everybody's heard this through social media, phone calls, etc. That, there's going to be a huge impact, on the town offices, doing grievances for probably quite a while. So, yeah, so that's all I got.
Any questions for Gretchen? Excellent. Moving to Dover. Vicky, did you want to start?
Sure. Last night, the Dover Town Plan was approved by Wyndham Regional Committee. They have one more vote of a board of directors, but it looks like our town plan will be in place, and there's a lot of to-dos on the list. And top of the list is a municipal water system. And the select board has agreed to appoint a municipal water committee to look into it. We haven't figured out the demographics of that yet, but we're pretty excited to be moving forward.
Awesome.
But
Okay, I'll hop in. Broken record time. Horace Hill is, the work is complete. We are currently waiting on maps. The printed map in the property itself. Once that gets there, we will go ahead and start pushing that out more on social media. On the right here, you can see the printed map that we've put together that will be available on property and elsewhere, with some basic information about the property, contact information from us, and then the trail map. There will be another map exclusive to the disc golf as well. And then on the left here, you see our signage that will be going on the exterior of the property. That's a 7x3 sign that will be, I believe, 8 feet at the tallest, that you will definitely be able to see from Route 100 as you're going by. And then there will be additional signage hanging from the kiosk owned by Richard Kaplan, who's the property owner at 171. He said that he would allow us to hang some signage on the side of his sign kiosk that kind of pointed people to the property as well. Once we have those final maps and everything in there and our signage on the exterior, that's when we'll be scheduling our ribbon cutting, and really getting people in there. Just a few things popped up that we didn't expect, so a little later than we were hoping, but still very excited about opening the property. We just don't want to really get the property's open and it's 100% usable. It's just that the signage in there doesn't make as much sense when you don't have a map to compare it to. So we're just waiting on those pieces, and once we have all those final pieces in there, we'll definitely be ready to get the word out at the highest level. There was a great video professionally done that the trail company had put together. It's a 3-minute video kind of highlighting the work that was done in there and all the opportunities on the property. So we're really excited to be able to share that as well once they share it from their socials first. We are on track with legal to put the short-term rental ordinance draft in front of the board. We're hoping to do that at this upcoming meeting on Tuesday. Everything is still exactly the same as we've been discussing all the way through. It's just getting all those legalese lined up in the actual document and put in front of the board. So looking to move forward on that here shortly. Just some other things we're working on: finalizing plans for our business plan competition in conjunction with a potential loan program that would launch for anyone who didn't win that money, that they could fall back onto kind of a revolving loan program through the town of Dover to help get their business off the ground. So more information on that coming soon. We did wrap up Do It applications and had a pretty great response, got some good projects going on for this facade improvements around town. And then finally, just working on some signage pieces, similar. You're going to start seeing, I think, some more signs similar to what I showed you for Horace Hill there with our new signage standard as we look at things in Eastover, here at the town office, and also on our kiosks at the end of Dover Road and at the end of Holland Road to kind of get some of that updated. But you'll start seeing some of those new uniform signs around town. Any questions for myself or Vicky on the happenings in Dover? Excellent. Bill, you're up.
All right, well, halfway through the summer, we're in our typical off-season maintenance, both on the mountain and in the lodge. Just chipping away at periodic stuff, nothing particularly big. Had a great July 4th extended weekend. A lot of members, record number of members in town at the club because of the length. I know a lot of folks were here and participated in Wilmington town fireworks, and we're in town on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And then on Saturday the 6th, we had our annual big summer event, which was well attended. Other than that, it's just sort of steady as it goes. There's some construction on and around our property, which is encouraging to see that continues. Membership is steady. We continue to have inquiries with people joining, even in the off season at this time of the year when I think their minds are elsewhere. So that's a good indicator that our model is working. And as Gretchen mentioned, of course, a lot of raised eyebrows and concern around the reappraisals and understanding that process and what it means. Certainly a lot of significant changes there, some of them more than double prior rates. So letting that play out and trying to educate the members to what it means and what it doesn't mean.
Awesome.
That's about it. Any questions?
Bill, I got one. Where are you at with membership sales? Like, are you closing those eventually? How are you managing that?
We're sort of in the maintenance level. We've hit the number that works for us, that we feel is a comfortable carrying capacity for the club. And we're sensitive to growing too big and impacting the experience that people have invested in, which is, uncrowded mountain and uncrowded lodge and having circulation. But we have enough, and we've hit a number that's important to us, that our annual budgets are self-sustaining. The memberships are supporting all our operating costs. We're in a great financial position. We carry no debt. We've got a good capital plan and funding behind it.
That's great. Is the number of members a public number that you share, or is that something that you
No, I don't mind sharing that. We're over 400 members. It's quite a big number, quite active. It's relatively steady, and because of the nature of it being a ski club, unlike a country club where there may be a number of them around your local community and people can hop around, we believe once in that the lifetime of the membership is going to be extended. It should be a good long tenure, especially because a high percentage of particularly the members that have joined in the last couple of years are young families with kids, as young as newborns, but typically in kind of the 4 to 8 year range. So they've got a long life in terms of being members here, and we're starting to see some multi-generational memberships as well. Yeah, we're really pleased after a year of COVID and 3 years of legitimate open door work on it, that would seem to have cracked the code.
Well, and I appreciate how much you guys do to include members in the community with the membership, because as we see the conversion of many of our longer term second homeowners over to Airbnbs, it's notable the lack of sort of second home community that we've experienced over the last 5, 6, 7, 10 years. So having club members sort of fill in that gap is great.
Yeah, and now that it's been a rapid growth. It's really been a startup, even though there was a club prior. We considered it as it was. It was a purchase of the assets, kind of a do-over, new model, new approach, and we've gotten that stabilized, and we're starting to put more concerted effort in. We've always shared things to do in the Valley, but we're getting more deliberate with our messaging to really encourage members to come and participate. Particularly some of the former older members, they were already in the Valley. They know how rich it is, and they're seen out and about all the time. But a lot of the younger members, it's a sort of an awakening. Now we want them to understand while we are just primarily a winter 4-month club and intend to really focus and stay that way. There's so much to do here. I think we can see it over weekend of the ahas as people are discovering all the little lights in and around the Valley. Expect to see more of them.
Great work.
Any other questions for Bill? You're off the hot seat, Bill. All right. We don't have a representative from Mount Snow. And I believe that representative will be changing as Brian will be moving on Whistler, I think. So I'm sure that once they've established who his replacement will be, we'll reach out to them about joining our group and being a part of the conversation. Adam, BDCC.
Let's see. I think I'll start with SEDS. So we're really pretty deep into the SEDS, about to go into the heavy public engagement portion of the SEDS initiative. So we will be continuing to host public meetings for input. So please be on the lookout for those. This is important that we get people who have different perspectives, people who come from different industries, sectors, focuses of interest, from the spectrum of education to the creative economy, all the way through to resorts and down to sole proprietors, just general community members. This is a 5-year document. If we think back 10 years ago, just leading up to the SEDS, it was the doom and gloom tour with Jeff Lewis and Laura Sibilia running around telling people the sky was falling because in 10 years there would be a significant age and population decline issue. Well, sure enough, here we are, and our region has outperformed the rest of rural Vermont. And we believe largely because so many folks were attuned to this sooner and developed strategies and tactics to try to retain our youth and bring more people here. Got a little lucky with COVID, but the refugee work was very intentional. A lot of people involved in that. And, we're continuing to see in our region employee wages for refugees about $2 more per hour than in the Chittenden region. And we really feel that that's a testament to the focus from business owners to put these individuals into some higher skill jobs versus just the entry level. And it's really been a great process for those folks. We have 8 people in CDL licensure process right now, which is incredible for folks who didn't speak English to have advanced that far in the last 2 years. It's really rewarding for them and everybody involved. I want to briefly touch on BizConnect. Is a new initiative that we're kicking off on July 31st, and BizConnect is the result of meeting with communities across the region over the last 4 months, many of which don't have downtowns or chambers. And those community folks were just reaching out to us saying, how do we help our businesses? The businesses are really asking for something sort of nebulous they couldn't put their finger on necessarily. And really what we distilled it down to is community. So we're not trying to replace chambers and downtowns and the amazing work that they all do in their very specific geographic location. Instead, bringing an umbrella over the entire region to try to bring entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, business owners, business managers together from across the region to sort of crowdsource and just expand their networks. So look forward to hosting an event in the Valley, either in August or September. And the first one is July 31st in Brattleboro at Busytown. That's the new co-working space on Flat Street. So it's a great space. If folks don't know about it, you can Google it up and find out the details. And then we'll be doing these around other communities on the second Wednesday of each month through the fall. So a bunch of these happening, and hopefully just getting business owners together and really ad hoc fashion. There's no membership, there's no people just come and go, and hopefully make their own individual connections. Briefly wanted to just touch base on Act 250 and housing legislative changes. You know, if anyone has tried to read the bills that came out of that, congratulations for that. So, you know, there is so much rulemaking that still has to come. It's really hard even now to say what the impacts of this will be. But nonetheless, we, and I think basically everybody around the state, is really looking to create some sort of so what now? And just, you know, the sort of cliff notes of the Act 250 and housing changes. So if anyone is interested in that, please let me know. We're trying to work with a few different state groups, administrative groups, to try to help distill this down to what does it mean for the mom and pop plaza owner, the person who owns a business that, fill in the blank, all the way up to, housing development at large. So we're going to shoot for getting something together by the end of the summer, early fall, as sort of those cliff notes. One of the outcomes is the downtown process for designated downtowns is really changed. There's no longer a downtown board. It's now the community investment board. And they're going to try to really sort of elevate their role to grant making and funding decisions, and pass a lot of this down to the regional commissions, as I understand it. So changes happening, I think, but still importantly, the state did recognize the importance of continuing the downtown and village program. So that survived. And I'm sure Sam knows more about that than I do and could fill in any details if they're relevant. And I think, other than echoing the concern over Wilmington reappraisals and the sort of panic that is setting out, and what does it mean for my actual tax bill? Folks don't yet really know that. But yeah, I'm sure that's going to be a big issue for the town hall in the months ahead. I'll leave it there. Danny, do you have any comments you want to have? Danny's been on the job 3 days, folks. So
yeah, I'm really excited to be working with all of you. The last couple of days have been a fire hose of really understanding kind of, BDCC's role and all of that, a background in helping with rural business transition. So I'm excited about sort of speaking to the aging population conversations that was just happening about some of the aging business owners. And then I've been sitting in on the Launchpad program here for BDCC that started as well, with a really great, interesting mix of folks coming to those, very early stage entrepreneurs, some a little bit more seasoned, for some tools and resources. And just being in a room like that with the excitement of folks who really embody the entrepreneurial spirit has been exciting. And I just look forward to seeing what's next.
thanks, Eric.
Thank you, guys. Any questions for Adam or for Danny? Awesome. Christine.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry, I have not been here in so long. I feel like there's a million things to say. First, just to let you know, we finished up our winter season because I don't think I've spoken to, I don't think I'm at the May meeting. We finished up our winter season. It was an average ridership season. Wasn't the lowest we've seen, wasn't the best. Obviously, the winter weather didn't help us. So we are in the process of trying to think of different ways to market and ideas of getting ridership back up on the Moover route, which is the Wilmington to Westover route that's seen a lag since last summer when we had the flooding. We're hoping we have a good summer this year. I know 4th of July weekend was insane here this past weekend. I was not in the Valley. I know that the fireworks went really well. I don't have those numbers yet as far as ridership numbers, so I will be able to report that at the next meeting. I want to thank BDCC and Jen Strom. I know she's not on this call, and Adam. They helped us and supported with grant money to start a microtransit program in Brattleboro that serves evening hours. This was because, as he's discussed, there's a lot of employers that have second and third shifts they couldn't fill because the workers didn't have a way to get there. A lot of them were new Americans and refugees. We successfully launched that middle of April. And it is going fantastic. It is all based on software and application. It is after hours. There's not a call person in the office. So it's been a learning curve for a lot of things. I've done a lot of on-hands trainings at the MCC to help people with all of that. And it's going really, really well. What we're seeing is 50 to 60% of our rides every evening are for employment. So kudos to BDCC for getting that off the ground. Thank God that they did. And then VTrans is going to backfill in because they really couldn't say no once we had private money. So that should keep going. That's great to see. Stuff like that is really what we're focused on. The Moover in general, transportation in general across the state is under some serious challenges. Obviously, like everybody is experiencing, budget constraints and, trying to work on a budget with matched funding from a previous year, basically, and make it work. It becomes more and more challenging, but the state is fantastic in supporting us. One thing to note, and I know that everybody here probably knows this, but Windham County in the state of Vermont has the highest aging population in the state. With that comes more what we call demand response rides, which is medical, non-emergency medical, Medicaid rides. So SCVT has the second highest volume of those rides in the state as well, and that's going to continue to increase. So we're constantly meeting with human service agencies and partners to try to figure out partnerships for funding and stuff to be able to increase that capacity. That's just a little quick piece of that. As far as looking forward to the winter, we have a meeting with Brian next week. I think he is actually off this week on vacation. So it'll be nice to chat with him and see where he's headed and so forth. And we did change the Moover drop zone this past winter. If anybody remembers that conversation, it actually went really, really well, really smooth. So we're happy with that transition. And that's about it. If anybody has any questions, jump on in.
All right. Any questions for Christine and the Moover? Awesome. Bethany at the chamber.
Oh, this is a great angle. Sorry, I'm using my iPad. No, I got it. So as far as events go, we had a new resident social, which is something that was put in our grant for the GROW program, and it went fairly well. I would say we had about 30 people. A couple of businesses attended just to showcase how people can get involved in the community. We have 4 of them built into our grant, so we'll have another one in November-ish, and then again for next year we'll have 2. We also have our social media content creator, Janice, really has hit the ground running. Hopefully any of my members on this call have had contact with her. I think she's been doing a really great job, and the analytics on her posts are really wonderful, like better than we've seen in a long time. So that's really exciting. I'm excited to hear about the ridership on the Moover for the fireworks, because I think anyone who was there could say it was probably one of our best attended events, fireworks events that we've had. The weather was insane. I think we had a little bit of everything, and it was disgustingly humid, but people showed up and the fireworks show was really great. Fiona Toole sang the national anthem, which was really nice. So I think it was a really good event. We've got the Blueberry Festival coming up starting July 26th through August 4th. So we're finishing all the final details of that. It's got a lot of press coverage. We've got Yankee Magazine did an article on it. They're sending a TV crew to come and do some videos for us. It's been picked up by a couple other media outlets as well. So I feel really good about it. Janet and I have been working really hard to kind of expand wherever we can on it. And hopefully you guys are seeing all the social media stuff we're putting out there. And then we've got a member mixer on the 15th at Green Mountain Squeeze, which will be nice. I feel like we haven't had one in a while. The last one was our annual meeting, which went really well. We had about 60 people there, and gave a brief update on just the status of the chamber. Membership continues to hold really strong. We're up to almost 175 members. We're seeing a lot of personal supporters joining, so individuals, brand new businesses, smaller businesses joining as well. So that's great to see, and hopefully we'll continue. Our renewal period starts in September, so people will start getting bills. And we're going to do a coffee chat at Kits Off Inn just to answer any questions people might have about membership renewals or the benefits they're receiving or any new benefits they may be wanting. And we're also planning on sending a survey out just to get some feedback from our members to make sure we're meeting their needs. And lastly, the visitor center's been slammed. We've actually expanded our hours to 10 to 5 based on the feedback we got from some of the downtown businesses. And we're just seeing consistent numbers close to, between 50 and 100, depending on if it's a weekday or weekend. But the trail maps continue to fly off the shelf, which isn't surprising. And people are always complimenting the area. So that's good to hear. That's all I got.
Any questions for Bethany? And I forgot to add it to the agenda, but Sam, do you want to give us a brief update on Wilmington Works?
Yeah, so as Gretchen mentioned, Wilmington Works decided to take over the facade improvement grant program. So we're really looking forward to see what comes of that. We are launching a business plan competition as well, which applications will open up the end of September for that and go through the winter. And then right now is our busy season with events. We have one event down. We have a couple more to go. So our next event is going to be the block party. Actually, I take that back. We are having a new resident meetup on July 20th as well, which is exciting. Hoping to just continue to connect our new residents. That's all I've got. Thank you.
Any questions for Sam at Wilmington Works? All right. Thank you everybody for coming today. Our next meeting is scheduled for Thursday, September 5th. If you have anything you'd like to see on the agenda, make sure you get in touch with me the week prior and we'll get that on there. Other than that, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Is that Heidi?
Yes.
I need a second from Bill.
Second from Bill. All right, awesome. Thank you guys. We'll see you in September.
Bye, everybody. Thanks.
Bye.